Welcome to Space Drift. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In February 2025, President Donald Trump announced a sweeping 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminum, no exceptions. This bold move was aimed at boosting domestic production and protecting American jobs, but it sent shockwaves through various industries. For Coca-Cola, which relies heavily on aluminum cans for its beverages, this was a seismic shift. The company, known for its iconic red cans, suddenly faced a new reality. The policy, effective March 12, sent aluminum prices soaring by over 4%, instantly squeezing Coca-Cola's bottom line. The cost of raw materials surged, and the company had to quickly adapt to this financial pressure. Unlike previous tariffs, there were no loopholes or exemptions. Every company importing aluminum paid the same price. This meant that even global giants like Coca-Cola couldn't escape the impact. Coca-Cola, using billions of cans annually, now faced millions in new costs. The financial strain was immediate and significant, forcing the company to reevaluate its strategies. The company had to decide, absorb the hit or pass it to consumers and risk losing sales? This dilemma sparked intense discussions in boardrooms and among financial analysts. This wasn't just a financial issue, it was a catalyst for a major rethink of packaging strategy. Coca-Cola began exploring alternative materials and innovative packaging solutions to mitigate the impact. The iconic Coke can, once a symbol of refreshment, became a symbol of a new business challenge. The company had to balance tradition with innovation. Coca-Cola's response would soon reshape what you see on store shelves. The changes implemented would not only affect the company, but also influence consumer choices and industry standards. Before the tariff, an aluminum can cost just under 4 cents to make. The new tariff bumped that to about 5 cents, a penny more per can. That single penny, multiplied by billions, means millions in extra costs for Coca-Cola. For a 6-pack, that's 6 cents. For a 24-pack, nearly a quarter. While investors didn't panic, the company couldn't ignore the scale of the impact. Some argued Coca-Cola could absorb the cost, but the company signaled it would adapt instead. The US imports nearly half its aluminum, so the tariff hit everyone, not just Coke. CEO James Quincy called the impact not insignificant, hinting at operational changes ahead. Coca-Cola wouldn't just eat the cost, they'd rethink how they package your favorite drinks. With aluminum costs surging to record highs, beverage companies everywhere faced a tough choice. For Coca-Cola, the world's most iconic soft drink brand, the stakes were especially high. Aluminum cans, long a staple of Coke's packaging, suddenly became much more expensive to produce, threatening to squeeze profit margins and potentially drive up prices for consumers. To navigate this challenge, Coca-Cola turned to plastic, specifically PET bottles, as a potential solution. PET, or polyethylene terephthalate, is lightweight, durable, and most importantly, significantly cheaper than aluminum when commodity prices spike. CEO James Quincy addressed the issue publicly, explaining that if the cost of cans continued to climb, shifting more production to plastic bottles would help keep Coca-Cola's products affordable and accessible to millions of customers worldwide. By 2023, Coca-Cola's packaging mix was already diversified. About 50% of its drinks were sold in plastic bottles, 25% in aluminum cans, and the remaining 25% in other formats like glass bottles and cartons. This meant that increasing the share of plastic bottles wasn't a radical change, but rather a strategic adjustment, one that could be implemented quickly by tweaking existing production lines. The company's factories were already equipped to handle both cans and bottles, so ramping up plastic production was more about shifting resources than reinventing the wheel. However, the move sparked debate. While plastic is undeniably cheaper and more flexible for manufacturers, it comes with significant environmental concerns. Images of plastic bottles polluting rivers and piling up in landfills have made PET a symbol of the global waste crisis. Quincy emphasized that this wasn't a sweeping overhaul, but a careful, measured response to market pressures, one designed to protect both the company's bottom line and its loyal customers. Coca-Cola's leadership aimed to absorb as much of the cost increase as possible, striving to keep shelf prices stable and avoid passing the burden onto shoppers. But the decision between cans and plastic isn't just about economics. It's also about brand reputation and environmental responsibility. Aluminum is endlessly recyclable and often seen as the greener choice, while plastic's environmental impact is a growing concern. Ultimately, Coca-Cola's packaging decision would ripple far beyond its own balance sheet. influencing industry trends, consumer perceptions, and the ongoing debate over sustainability in the beverage world. After the tariff news, rumors exploded online. Was Coca-Cola leaving America? The answer is simple. No, it's not. Major news outlets debunked the claim. Coke isn't shutting U.S. plants or abandoning the market. The confusion came from misreading CEO Quincy's comments about shifting packaging, not production locations. Coca-Cola is simply adapting to new costs, not making a political statement or planning an exit. Its vast U.S. bottling network remains intact. The real story is about business adaptation, not retreat. In a world of viral misinformation, it's a reminder to check the facts. Coke's still here, just maybe in a different bottle. The aluminum tariff hit the whole beverage industry, not just Coca-Cola. PepsiCo faces the same 25% tax, but its diverse snack and food brands give it more flexibility to absorb costs. If Pepsi can keep prices steady while Coke raises them, the cola wars could shift. Keurig Dr. Pepper, with less reliance on aluminum, is less exposed to the tariff's impact. Each company's product mix shapes its response. Some may absorb costs, others may pass them on. The tariff forces tough choices: raise prices, switch packaging, or risk losing market share. The next few months will reshape the competitive landscape. Every can on the shelf now tells a story of strategy and survival. Switching from cans to plastic may save Coca-Cola money in the short term, but it's a significant environmental setback with long-lasting consequences. While plastic bottles are cheaper to produce and transport, their impact on the planet is far greater than that of aluminum cans. Plastic lingers in the environment for centuries, breaking down into microplastics that contaminate water, soil, and even the food we eat. Environmental groups warn that more plastic means more pollution. Coke is already the world's top plastic polluter. Activists and scientists alike have sounded the alarm, pointing out that the company's plastic footprint is growing, not shrinking, despite public promises to do better. Billions of Coke bottles end up in landfills and oceans each year, contributing to a global crisis. These bottles often escape recycling systems, traveling through rivers and waterways until they reach the sea, where they threaten marine life and disrupt fragile ecosystems. The company has faced mounting criticism for missing its own sustainability goals, and a shift to even more plastic would only worsen its reputation. Environmentalists argue that real leadership means investing in solutions, not shortcuts. The timing is notable. Just as Coke considers ramping up plastic use, federal policies are rolling back restrictions on single-use plastics. This regulatory shift could make it easier for companies to prioritize profits over the planet. The business case for plastic is clear. It's affordable, lightweight, and convenient. But the environmental cost is enormous, with consequences that will be felt for generations. Coca-Cola is caught between profit and responsibility, facing a pivotal decision that could define its legacy in the eyes of consumers and the world. The new tariff has forced a choice: protect margins or protect the planet. The stakes have never been higher and the world is watching. What Coke does next will speak volumes about its values and its commitment to a sustainable future. Will it double down on plastic or invest in real change? Sometimes the cheapest option comes at the highest price, a cost paid not just in dollars but in the health of our planet and future generations. So, what's really happening? Coca-Cola isn't leaving America, it's adapting. The 25% aluminum tariff raised costs, so Coke is considering more plastic bottles to keep prices down. It's not a radical change, but a practical shift in packaging strategy. Competitors like PepsiCo face the same pressures, and their responses will shape the market. But for the world's biggest plastic polluter, more plastic raises serious environmental questions. The real story is about balancing business survival with environmental responsibility. The can you're used to may become a bottle, but Coke's not going anywhere. The tariff is a test of priorities: profit, price, or planet. Coca-Cola's next move will set the tone for the industry. The package may change, but the story is bigger than what's in your hand.